just like politics, all news is local, and that's certainly the case on Idaho Matters, the weekday public affairs podcast from Boise State Public Radio. Listen today to hear about events and issues that impact Idahoans. Search Idaho Matters wherever you get your podcasts. From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Gaudette. More Idaho Matters right now. Well, the holidays, they are upon us, which means one thing: food, and lots of it. And thank goodness, because we're in luck, because this time of year, the Treasure Valley has no shortage of good places to eat, as well as festive activities. So in order to make sure you do not miss out on any of the fun, we invited Boise Dev Eats editor Kara Jackson to give us a rundown of all the places you do not want to miss out on. Kara, I am so excited to have you back to talk about this.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gemma. And I'm so excited too, because there is nothing like the holidays here in the Treasure Valley, and there's so many good spots to eat.
Oh my gosh, so many. Okay, so let's start with really great ways to celebrate the holidays. And one thing is opening up this weekend, and I am talking about the Indian Creek Winter Wonderland in Caldwell. Kara, for folks who may not be familiar with this, tell us about this event.
Yes. So Indian Creek Winter Wonderland is just absolutely magical. And it's one of the best spots to go throughout the Treasure Valley to celebrate the holidays. They have incredible lights displays all along Indian Creek, so you can walk along it. And I'm not talking just lights, I'm talking like dragons and huge, like beautiful displays that are really fun, especially for children, but also for adults. They have an ice ribbon that you can skate, for people who have better ankles than myself. You can meet Santa. And then there's also a ton of great restaurants right there in the Indian Creek area.
Okay, let's talk the restaurants, because you are not kidding when you say there are a ton of great restaurants. I mean, one of my favorite restaurants in the entire Treasure Valley is at Indian Creek Plaza, and that's a Mono.
Yes, and that is my top pick and recommendation if you want to have dinner while also going and enjoying the Winter Wonderland out there. Amano is a really special restaurant, and we're just so lucky to have it here in the Treasure Valley. It's fantastic, elevated Mexican food, and it's kind of different than a typical Mexican restaurant. So you'll see a lot of Mexican classics, tacos, carne asada, chile rellenos, but they're really elevated and very, special ingredients, just really authentic and designed to give you this unique experience. So anything you pick on the menu is great. And then their cocktails are also just really phenomenal. So a great special holiday experience. And then, the lights and all of these wonderful holiday activities are happening right outside Amano's doors.
Okay, and you have a couple of other recommendations out at Indian Creek. So let's talk Kindred by the Creek.
Yes. So Amano is, difficult to get into, reservations only. And, it's a little bit more expensive. So if you're looking for another option, there's a ton of great restaurants out there, but I would also recommend Kindred by the Creek. It just opened up, and it's a wine tasting room for Kindred Vineyards. And they have this big pizza oven. And so they do wood-fired pizza. So that's something that's a little bit more casual. Have a nice glass of wine and some pizza, stay inside, before you go outside and endure the cold to also endure all these fun holiday activities.
Okay, and then what about Chop Shop?
Yes, Chop Shop is another great spot out in Caldwell, and it's kind of this more casual smokehouse barbecue that's really focused on local sourcing. So they use a lot of local farmers and all of their ingredients, and it's just really fun. So again, like depending on what your taste is, that's another great option out in the Caldwell area.
Okay, let's come into Boise now, because a lot of holiday activities are going to be starting in Boise soon. The big one that so many people know about, Festival of Trees, it's about ready to open, right?
Yes, it is opening, just a few days before Thanksgiving, and it's, a classic holiday experience. And then the Grove Plaza also has the beautiful, Christmas tree. The tree lighting's taking place on November 29th. And now they have ice skating, around the Christmas tree too. So a fun kind of like center for a lot of holiday activities. And, if you're also wanting to have a great meal, the place that has a front row seat to all of this is Acero Boards and Bottles.
And I have to say, Kara, I've been there a couple of times, and I think they're great. They're really consistent, and I mean, and their patio, if you really want to be right outside, I mean, is still open in the wintertime, isn't it?
Yeah, the patio has all of these, fire pits. So it
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit heated if you're willing to be brave. And even if you're not, they have a lot of large windows. So you can look out at the beautiful Christmas tree, the kids skating, and feel festive. And, they just have great, consistent food, flatbreads, pasta dishes, sandwiches, and also, I might add, a fantastic happy hour.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so Winter Garden Aglow is another big holiday event in Boise, and it's kicking off at the end of the month as well.
Yes, and it's one of my favorite holiday traditions. It's something I'm really looking forward to doing with my son this year. They light up the entire botanical gardens with all sorts of beautiful light displays. And my recommendation is, to also have a special meal before you go out and enjoy the lights. And downtown Boise is a great spot. VRT is actually running a bus line from downtown Boise and it stops at Garden Aglow. So you
Oh,
can park in downtown Boise, enjoy dinner, have a few cocktails if you wish to, and then catch the bus. So you don't have to
uh-huh.
kind of work, deal with the hubbub of moving your car and all that.
Okay, and lots of great places downtown. So let's start with kind of tried and true. You've got Fork,
Yeah, I mean, the list of great spots to try out in downtown
honestly.
Boise, it's unlimited. Fork is one of my classic favorites. It's, classic comfort food, but then some unique dishes. They just launched a winter menu. Their cocktails are great. It's just a tried and true classic. You're guaranteed to have a good meal.
And then you've got am I because I've not heard of this one. Am I saying it right? Terrier? How do I say that?
Terroir.
Terroir. Okay, so not
Yeah.
even close. Terroir. I haven't even heard of this, Kara.
Yeah, Terroir is new. It's a French bistro. So they just opened up a brick and mortar here in downtown Boise this spring. They also have a food truck at Talaya in Garden City. And it's this casual, chill kind of small little French bistro. I recently had dinner there and it was great. It would be a great spot to have a holiday meal.
Okay, and then you've got Brickyard and the Lively. Let's talk about those two.
Yes, Brickyard is a long time. I think it's been around for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
High-end steakhouse. They do a Caesar salad at the table. So it's just always a really great elevated experience. And on Boise Food Finds and a lot of other places, a lot of people list this as a favorite spot in downtown Boise. So if you're looking for kind of that local high-end steakhouse, Brickyard's a great option. The Lively is also a great spot in downtown Boise. It's in a beautiful custom designed building. The chef has a Michelin star, great, fantastic cocktails and wine. Their menu's always changing. So it's a good spot to try out too.
Okay, and so one of my favorites, I have to say, because I think they have a phenomenal happy hour, is Tavolata.
Yes, and I'm right there with you. Probably my favorite happy hour too. They've been here in Boise for about a year. They're a small chain that's based in Seattle. I think there's 3 or 4 tavolatas now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all fresh made pasta. And Gemma's right. Their happy hour is from 4 to 6, and you can get a full size pasta dish for $13. So it's a really great spot to go for great food and for a decent price.
So, what if you're in the mood for a cocktail? And let's face it, sometimes with the holidays and families coming into town, you might find yourself wanting or needing an adult beverage.
Yes. The holidays are a wonderful festive time, but sometimes a little stressful, right? And it's always
Right.
great to have a cocktail, blow off a little steam. And there's a really special holiday pop-up taking place at Gatsby's, which is this 1920s themed speakeasy that's down in downtown Boise. And they've turned the whole bar into like this Nightmare Before Christmas themed
Oh,
space. It almost like makes me think of Disneyland's Haunted Mansion where they do the wrap of,
uh-huh.
Nightmare Before Christmas. And on top of that, they have all these special, drinks. So a couple that I want to try is the brown butter rum, which is
Ooh.
kind of a take on a hot buttered rum. And they also have one called the Naughty or Nice with pisco, Aperol, lemon juice, and then caramel popcorn on top.
Oh my gosh. Now, and
Yes.
you normally have to make a reservation for Gatsby's, don't you? And I would think this time of year in particular.
Yes, if you want to check out Gatsby's, my recommendation is to make a reservation ASAP. With this holiday pop-up, it books up really quickly. And so this is one that you're going to want to put on the calendar for like a special date night or a night that you're going to need that special cocktail.
Yeah, no kidding. So, Kara, let's talk the Nutcracker. It runs December 6th to the 14th. And they have midday and evening shows. So that means maybe if you want to do a midday show, you could do brunch beforehand. So let's talk a little bit about brunch options. And can we start with the Percy?
Yes. So Percy is one of my favorite restaurants.
Hmm.
It's been around about a year and a half. It's kind of the elevated, like sibling to Wilder. And
Yeah.
every meal I have there is always excellent. And their brunch is no different. A few of the dishes include a short rib hash. And I have it on very good authority that their sourdough pancakes are out of this world. And then they
Oh,
also have fun cocktails. So a great spot to go, especially if you're taking your family or some friends to the Nutcracker before the matinee.
I have to say, I love the Percy. Haven't been there for brunch, but I agree with you. I think it's a great restaurant. Okay, the Avery. I've been there for dinner, not for brunch, but you said this is a great option too.
Yes, the Avery is also kind of, not necessarily on the list of the obvious go-tos for breakfast,
Hmm.
but they have a fantastic brunch. So Chef Cal Elliott, he has a Michelin star, and the brunch has a lot of great French classics: Benedict's, French omelets, croissants, a croque monsieur, which is like this French ham sandwich. And then they also have, some more traditional things like pancakes and sandwiches. So something for everyone. And it's really beautiful in there. So this great elevated, nice experience and something that might be a special place to go before the Nutcracker.
Let's talk A Tavola because I think this is such a special place, but in particular around Christmas time, Kara.
Yes, I agree. Tavola is one of my favorite spots. Again, I have a lot of favorites, but I love going there on the weekends on Saturdays. And it's Lisa Peterson's restaurant. The food's great. They have quiches, breakfast sandwiches, and then they also on Saturdays have this off menu baked apple French toast that's just
Oh,
amazing. And it's a special place to also shop for holiday gifts. And
hmm.
and that's really the reason why they're on this list for me. In addition to their shopping displays and the main restaurant with candles, decor, all the culinary like specialties, they have a Christmas room that's kind of secret, but not so secret in the back that's just straight out of like a storybook. You walk into the room and it's Christmas everywhere. There's just beautiful decor that's themed, and it's a really great and fun place to shop for decor and gifts.
And can I tell you, every Easter, I literally get all of my stuff for Easter brunch at A Tavola. Like you said, the quiches, but they have all of these sides because they have these. If you haven't been there, folks, I mean, like everything's frozen, so you can get it and then just reheat it at home. And I tell you, if you want to make your holidays easy, you can go do that. And they have it. I mean, I do it at Easter time, but they do it at every holiday.
Yes, they have a like Thanksgiving package. It's probably too late to order that, but
Yeah.
for Christmas they also have it. So you can go there and just get a few sides for your meal, but you can also like have them cater your full, special holiday dinner if you'd like to, and they have a price per person. So
Yeah.
that's also a good tip.
It really is. Okay, so let's not forget Meridian because there's a lot of great things out there. One of the things my kids always love to do, I mean, probably too old for it now, but they liked it when they were littler. That's the Sensi Light Tunnel.
Yes, it's right off of Eagle Road, and if you haven't been there, it's such a fun little stop.
Hmm.
Sensi has this massive light tunnel with all these beautiful colors, and walking through it is just this really special moment, and it's really memorable. Little kids especially love it, but it's fun for all ages.
And we can't forget the villages and what they do this time of year as well. Kara, can you talk a little bit about that?
No, the village is another great holiday destination. Not only is it great for shopping, but they have a beautiful Christmas tree, right by the fountains. The
Hmm.
Santa there is probably one of the best Santas in the Treasure Valley, and they have all sorts of fun activities, ice skating, and so it's another great spot to go for a special holiday night.
And they have some great restaurants out there as well. So tell us about 830 Common.
Yeah, so 830 Common is in downtown Boise or downtown Meridian, sorry. And I have had several great meals there. They have a really broad menu, something for everyone. And it's just a lovely spot, kind of cozy to have, a really nice meal right in downtown Meridian.
And a classic Meridian restaurant is Epi's.
Yes, Epi's is a long-standing Basque restaurant in downtown Meridian. It's in this little house, and it kind of feels like having a Basque meal, at your grandma's house. It's just really
Mhm.
fun, really special, and another great place to try out if you haven't before.
And what about Vintage 61?
Yeah, so Vintage 61 is actually pretty close to Epi's, and it's a wine bar that's been in Meridian for just a few years. And it also has a lot of great elevated entrees, steaks, prawns, risotto. So definitely the ingredients for a memorable holiday meal.
Okay, so Kara, you mentioned Lucky Finn's in Meridian, and tell us why.
Yeah, so if you want to stay on Eagle Road, right close to the Sensi Light Tunnel and the village, Lucky Fins would probably be my pick. I've always loved their sushi, but they have a lot of great seafood entrees as well as steak and chicken dishes in case seafood isn't your jam. So that's kind of a fun place. It's really close to the action in Meridian.
So I want to talk about a couple of places that are off the beaten path, maybe especially if you're trying to maybe head out of town, go to the mountains. I have not been to Anderson Reserve and Suite, but I have heard phenomenal things about this, Kara.
Yeah, so Anderson Reserve and Suite, is a great place if you're trying to get out of the rain, which is it's kind of rainy right now, and you
Mhm.
want to see snow and feel the holidays. A drive up to the mountains is always a great one. And Anderson Reserve is a fabulous culinary destination. It's this high-end steakhouse that's actually inside a barn, but it's a beautiful, immaculate barn. They also have Sunday brunch. They have a cigar silo. So it really is this unique dining experience. And then since it's higher in elevation and up in the mountains, you're going to get the snow and all the magic that comes with that too.
And you also recommend Arrowleaf in Idaho City.
Yes. So Arrowleaf just opened, and their goal is to really uplift the mountain and that region and bring an elevated yet casual dining experience to Idaho City. I spoke to the owners and the chef just about a month ago, and I'm just so excited about this new restaurant. The menu looks fantastic. And so it's a great place to go. It's right on the main, drag in Idaho City in one of the old historic buildings. And it'd be fun to go to that before going to the springs. And they also serve brunch. So it'd be a fun place to stop and have a meal if, you're ambitious and go up and cut your own Christmas tree in the forest.
All right. Speaking of cutting down your Christmas tree, you've got kind of some other recommendations, just some fun holiday picks. Can we start
Yeah,
with the good old Stagecoach?
yes. So if you're just looking to have a fun holiday meal with some friends or family, the Stagecoach is a great spot to go. It's
Yeah.
like a Boise institution at this point. It's super old school. It feels like you're like almost stepping back into the 70s.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
really fun experience. Great steaks and entrees. It's just a fun spot. And I feel like it is like classic Boise.
I kind of feel like you need to go there at least once. Like if you are new to the Treasure Valley, you have to go to the Stagecoach. Like I think it's just kind of part of your baptism of living here.
Yes, I think it's a requirement to like
I
get your
do.
driver's license, right?
Exactly. Okay, you recommend Susina. Tell us about this because I still want to check this out.
Yeah, so Cena probably has been my best meal in the Treasure Valley this year.
Wow.
It's a new restaurant that is from the owners of Wild Plum Catering. It's in this little house on the bench, and they kind of have a special, like, four-course supper club most evenings. It's $80 per person. So it's a special night out. It's not just, going out, every night, but
Hmm.
it's really fantastic. Everything's homemade and just so delicious. They have the second course is all these different pastas that are
Ooh.
homemade. The main courses, I had a steak that was just so delicious, melt in your mouth. And then desserts are also fantastic. And it's a seasonal menu that they're constantly updating.
So you also recommend Brick 29 in Nampa.
Yeah, so Brick 29 is kind of another Treasure Valley classic that is known for having really great food, a great experience, and it's kind of, this destination and this classic building in Nampa. And, if you're going out there to check out the tree or some of the other great activities going on in Nampa, that's a great spot to go.
And we can't leave out Barbacoa and Coa del Mar.
Yes. I mean, if you're looking for a place to make a reservation for that special holiday meal, you can't forget about Barbacoa and Coa del Mar. They're, two fantastic restaurants that are perfect for that special meal or that celebration. They often have special holiday themed desserts,
Mm.
and they're just a great place to go for a memorable meal.
Well, you've made me incredibly hungry. So, and given me
Me
lots of
too.
options. Well, as always, Kara, it's such a pleasure to chat with you. We've been talking with Boise Dev Eats editor Kara Jackson about all the best spots to check out this holiday season. Thanks so much for listening to Idaho Matters. Boise State Public Radio and Idaho Matters are members of the NPR network. It's an independent coalition of public media podcasters. You can find more shows in the network wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Gemma Gaudette. We'll see you tomorrow.
No matter what happens in Washington, the NPR Politics Podcast is here for you. For the latest news, insights, and analysis from the election and beyond, listen to the NPR Politics Podcast. No matter what happens in Washington, the NPR Politics Podcast is here for you. For the latest news, insights, and analysis from the election and beyond, listen to the NPR Politics Podcast.